On 3015, First Prince Hanse Davion announced the creation of a new College of Science with the establishment of the New Avalon Institute of Science, one of the very first founded across the hemisphere in the last centuries, which would soon enough be a competitor with the old and prestigious Albion Military Academy as the best institution, winning the Federated Suns and the hemisphere premier bastion of higher learning and lost tech recovery. Since his early years of reign, Hanse lived up to his early reputation as a talented, unorthodox leader. Due to his broader iron initial overtures toward Archon Katrina Steiner of the Lyran Commonwealth, he was able to continue this policy and establish new ones, which began to revitalize the long-stagnant Federated Suns economy. The AFFS grew stronger as well, almost daily with the establishment of new policies concerning its military structure and development on new equipment. During that time, one of his best internal politics stunts was in regard to Baroness Robin de Caster, one of his vocal critics concerning the nation's poor educational system, by appointing her as his new Minister of Education. Soon enough, she worked hard with the federal government for the people's benefits, particularly the poor outback worlds with the rise of the vagabond schools system, which was seen at the time as one of the Ministry of Education's most effective policies put in place. Though he was still a relatively young man, Hanse Davion had done much already for the Federated Suns, capitalizing on the initial work done by his predecessors, but he was still capable of thriving for much more. His most far-sighted and grandest political move was done soon after, in the diplomatic arena of the hemisphere, when he responded favorably to Archon Katrina Steiner's peace proposal in 3020, which began a cordial relationship for the next 2 years. This open discussion between both House Lords concerning the future of their respective nations made them travel in early spring of 3022 to Terra itself and sign the Federated Commonwealth Alliance document, also known as the FedCom Accords. This treaty formalized a military, scientific, and economic exchange between their two states for the coming years. But the most impactful and secretive provision was the marriage of Hanse Davion himself to Archon designate Melissa Steiner, which promised the unification of two great houses into a vast political entity, the Federated Commonwealth. Despite that, the Federated Suns' position was still precarious. While the conflict against the Draconis Combine still went on, the Capellan March situation has gone from bad to worse, to the point that Hanse Davion expanded the role of all mercenary units employed by the AFFS, encouraging their initiative and independent actions, so they could keep the pressure on his enemies without exhausting his own military. These actions provoked in 3022 the Capellan Confederation to let loose their very own best mercenary units, the McCarran Armored Cavalry, in one of the greatest raids executed during the Third Succession War, later called the McCarran Long March.